This is my TNA Turning Point 2009 pay-per-view predictions. Pay-per-view is live tomorrow night exclusively on pay-per-view. Gotta say, for a TNA pay-per-view, this is looking very good. This is looking like one of TNA's best cards in a long time. This is actually the type of card that I think many of us have been wanting TNA to put on for a long time. And ever since, Unbreakable 2005, that's the last time you actually had in your main event all your homegrown talent only, and you get this on this pay-per-view as well. So it's been almost 4 years since you had a pay-per-view main event that had only homegrown talent. Doesn't have any WWE stars, WWF stars, or WCW stars in the main event. It's all your own homegrown talent. And this pay-per-view, there's two matches that on this pay-per-view could be excellent. And there's a women's match on here that possibly could be one of the better and possibly one of the best women's matches in North America for mainstream wrestling, WWE and TNA of this decade. And then you're probably going to have a very fun X Division match. And other than maybe one match on this card, everything looks pretty good on this pay-per-view. Now, the first match will most likely be the X Division Championship match with Homicide versus Amazing Red. This be a good match to start the pay-per-view off with. The crowd will get into it and be a good, fun back and forth match. And this definitely be a great way to start the pay-per-view off. And see Amazing Red retain the X Division Championship. Wouldn't mind Homicide winning. That's probably who I would much rather want to see win. But Red is doing pretty decent with his X Division title reign, and they are having Don West with him, and that's really helping him right there, Don West. And I feel they want to keep this whole thing with him and Don West going for a little bit, and it'd be better for Amazing Red to have a title on him than chase for the title. So I see Amazing Red retaining the X Division Championship. Probably be a very good match, and probably be a good match to start the pay-per-view off with. Then the next matchup will be a six-woman tag team match. Now, it's a little overbooking as far as I hate when they do matches like this when they have a tag match, or a six person tag or a 8-man tag or something like that, and the titles are on the line. I just don't like when they do this, and this is the beautiful people of Velvet Sky, Madison Rayne, and Lacey Von Erich versus Sarita, Taylor Wilde, which them two are the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, and the ODB is the Knockouts Singles Women's Champion. And the titles are on the line here. Whoever wins, if the beautiful people win, they win all three titles, and then I guess they'll figure out who holds them if that happens. I don't see that happening. I see the titles staying like they are, and I just hate when they do matches like this when the titles are on the line in a fashion like this. I've never been a fan of it. Vince Russo is notorious for booking matches like this in the past, and I just hate it every single time, no matter, if you have 6 people in there that could put on an incredible match. Just the booking of it just isn't good at all, and obviously you just keep the titles like they are. And the last thing you want to do is have Lacey Von Erich with a title. And now this could possibly be a watchable match, as long as they watch out how much Lacey Von Erich's in the match. If she isn't in the match that much, and the main person on the beautiful people of Velvet Sky's in the ring, then it could be at least a watchable match, but it's nothing that's going to be incredible or anything. It's going to be one of those, forgettable matches for the most part, but could at least be watchable. And like I said, Sarita, Taylor Wilde, and ODB, they'll all keep their championship titles. The next matchup will be the Motor City Machine Guns of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin versus the British Invasion versus Beer Money for the TNA World Tag Team titles. And this could be a good 3-way right here. Now, I'm hoping Motor City Machine Guns go over and finally win the TNA World Tag Team titles, because they've been overdue for giving the titles to them. I'm hoping that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, though. It'll probably be a good 3-way tag team match, though. And I see British Invasion retain the TNA World Tag Team titles, but I'm hoping the Motor City Machine Guns go over and finally get their well-deserved, reign as TNA World Tag Team Champions. The next matchup, this is the match probably no one really cares about. This is Bobby Lashley versus Scott Steiner. I'm hoping this match is going to be short, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Don't give them too much time. It's had some decent build-up. I got to at least give it that. It's had some decent build-up. It's had the storyline that's been done to death, but they've worked it out pretty good with them too, with the whole thing with involvement with Crystal Marshall, Bobby Lashley's wife, involved with this. TNA's done this, and every single wrestling promotion has done this type of angle so many times that it gets tired. You get tired of seeing it, but it's at least has some build to it, and it's been built up a decent amount, a good amount that I would say it's okay to have it on the pay-per-view. Just have it very short. Obviously, Bobby Lashley with his upcoming MMA fight, they're not going to have Bobby Lashley lose to Scott Steiner, and even if he didn't have the MMA fight, Bobby Lashley will go over no matter what in this match. Give it 5 to 10 minutes, no longer than that. It at least be watchable, maybe. The next matchup, now this would be probably one of the best women's matches out of mainstream wrestling, WWE and TNA of this decade. That's how much I'm looking forward to this match. This is Awesome Kong versus Tara and the 6 sides of steel. Now, it's a little questionable about putting this in a 6-sided steel cage match and not having this just be a regular match, since this is their first one-on-one match on a pay-per-view. I would say it would have been better not to have a gimmick attached to it, but nonetheless, it's still going to be an incredible match, I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping, I would wish that these 2 women would give maybe 20 minutes, but I obviously know that's not going to happen. Just as long as it gets close to 15 minutes, I'll be happy, and just let them 2 go out there and perform to their high level, and this could be an incredible match. This could possibly be as good as the Awesome Kong versus Gail Kim matches, and I would even go as far as this possibly could even be better than those matches. As good as those matches are, I think Tara and Awesome Kong will even go against each other and perform even better matches than that. At least that's what I'm hoping for this match. And, since they're building Awesome Kong up so much right now, and she's kind of getting back to that monster-type character, and she doesn't have any help by her side, the whole Raisha Saeed thing got killed off, and since she's by herself now, you have to have her go over in this match. If she loses this match, it's going to really hurt, where she's going to be in TNA, because if she doesn't go over in this match, it's going to hurt her. Even though I won't mind which one will go over, but if you want to have, someone as a, unstoppable force in TNA and have someone that could be a great, knockouts champion, it would be Awesome Kong. And then, you could have her win the knockouts title. And then have this feud with Tara versus Awesome Kong for the knockouts title. That's the only bad thing of this match. As great as this match is, it's not for a title. That's the one thing. This match would have even probably had a bigger appeal to it if the title was on the line with it. But I think everyone wants to see the match no matter what. Like I said, it should be a great women's match. Then the next matchup will be a match that surprisingly I'm actually looking forward to, and this is Team 3D and Rhino versus Matt Morgan, Hernandez, and D'Angelo Dinero. I think this could actually be a good match. Now, the one thing with this is a couple matches on this pay-per-view are already, gimmick matches, so I guess TNA, even they noticed, don't put too many gimmick matches on here, but this is one match, this 6-man tag, instead of this being a regular 6-man tag, this is something that should have been like a street fight or a no DQ match. That's what they should have added to this match, because with these 6 people, I think, the 6-man tag is going to be enjoyable and it's going to be entertaining. And even though it's not, no DQ or a street fight, they'll probably, bend the rules a little bit for this match. You'll probably see some tables involved and stuff like that. But it would be better if it was a match that, was just a, street fight or no DQ match. And it'd probably be even better than what it probably is going to be. And I see the faces going over. So I see Matt Morgan, Hernandez, and D'Angelo Dinero winning this match. The next matchup will be the Kurt Angle versus Desmond Wolfe match, a.k.a. Nigel McGuinness, in a challenge match. And this match should be very good. Now, their match they had on Impact was very good, and I think that was just a little taste of what we're going to get on this pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to this match a lot right here, and really shocked at how TNA is using Nigel McGuinness as good as they are. Now, the one thing is, there's this match right here. It's good in one way that you're doing this to Nigel, but it's another thing, you might be pushing him a little too quick. And the one thing is, with this match, that I feel that if Nigel loses this match and Kurt Angle goes over him and wins this match, it's really going to kill Desmond Wolfe. It's really going to kill his character if he loses on here. But the one thing I see happening with this match, I do see Desmond Wolfe defeating Kurt Angle in this match, but it's going to be from after some shady matters or whatnot. He's going to win. He's going to win this match in some type of shady fashion. Either holding the tights, or he'll low blow Kurt Angle and the ref won't see it, and then just pin him after after he does that. He hits a lariat and do something like that, and it'll be okay. Then you could continue it for another pay-per-view. Then they got rumors of possibly doing a Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles match, I think a couple pay-per-views down the line. So do this feud for maybe 2-3 pay-per-views, then do the AJ Styles and Kurt Angle match. But make sure this feud puts over Nigel, or Desmond Wolfe, as I should now call him. Make sure it puts him over well before make sure it doesn't pull what Samoa Joe was within TNA at one point, because Nigel's kind of like that. He's not as big as Joe was back in 06 or anything, but he is that fresh talent that people are interested, even if people aren't familiar with his Ring of Honor work as Nigel McGuinness. People are interested in seeing this new face TNA are pushing, and like, oh, TNA's actually finally got some new talent brought in, and they're using them pretty good, and hopefully they don't this pushing him too quick, hopefully it doesn't hurt him, but it should be a great match here. I'm really looking forward to this. If most pay-per-views, if this match would be one of those matches that you could say it's going to be the match of the night, but I think the main event is obviously the thing more people are interested in. But the Nigel and Angle match, or Nigel, not Nigel McGuinness, but Desmond Wolfe and Kurt Angle, the match right there, that's going to be a great match as well. But the main event's the thing people are looking forward to the most, and that's AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe for the TNA World Heavyweight title. And this should be a great match. Now, is it going to be as good as Unbreakable 2005? No, I don't think it's going to be no 5-star match or anything like that, or a match of the decade or anything. I don't think it's going to be that good. Now, can these three workers put on a match like that again? Yes, they could, but it's going to be very hard to top that match from Unbreakable 2005. Now, I think this is going to be a great match. I think it's going to be a very good main event for a TNA pay-per-view, which you really haven't seen in a long time, which is a great main event on a TNA pay-per-view. I think this time you're going to get the type of main event that people have been wanting to see from TNA for a long time. And I'm expecting at least a 4-star quality match, maybe even higher than that. But it's going to really shock me if it tops the other one, and if it does top the original one, this is going to be like one of the greatest matches of all time. But I don't see that happening, so I would say people don't try to think this match is going to be better than the original. Then you're going to be disappointed. Just think this is going to be a great main event for a TNA pay-per-view, and kind of you want it to be as good as the original one, but I think most people already know going in this is not going to be as good as the original, but it's still going to be a great match. And I see AJ Styles retaining the TNA World Heavyweight title. Should be a good main event. And overall, like I said, this pay-per-view looks very good. You got a great world title match on here, even though it's kind of questionable about the booking of the reason why the match is happening, because Daniels wasn't even able to win the X Division Championship, and Joe lost to Lashley. But look, I'm just pretty much looking past that. I think most of us are just going to look past that and just are going to be happy TNA is giving us the main event that we all want to see. Then you got Desmond Wolfe versus Kurt Angle, which should be a great match as well. Then you got Awesome Kong versus Tara, which possibly might be one of the best women's matches of this decade as far as mainstream wrestling goes. And you got a good X Division title match, and everything else other than Scott Steiner and Bobby Lashley, everything looks pretty good on this pay-per-view. And that's it for my TNA Turning Point pay-per-view predictions. Peace.